Unboxing Real Stories with Akshat Tomar, where I share stories of concocted reality. Some inspired by my own experiences, while some by yours. In this sequence, I'm going to share a special edition story for the month of June titled Romeo and Juliet Under the Rainbow. It was a busy morning in the month of June, and like everyone else, sun was busy too. The scorching summer waves were in their full swing. Start a little late from your home and you will be grilling yourself up on the streets. I had started my day with my usual routine. Necessary chores followed by breakfast. Then I hopped on to do some content writing assignments followed by a bit of proofreading. Oh, I just forgot to tell you about myself. But wait, how does that matter? What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Yeah, you guessed it right. It is from Romeo and Juliet. Precisely Act 2, Scene 2, lines 47 and 48. Don't get surprised. I'm a bardilator. Someone who idolizes Shakespeare. It is by the virtue of this that I often end up referencing and metaphorizing beyond the proper limit. Just like I did it right now. Arjun used to complain a lot about it. Arjun, the love of my life, the person whom I had chosen against all the odds, the person because of whom I'm standing here. Never had I ever imagined that one day I would be standing in the premises of the court because of the person I loved. The court wanted both of us to be present. Continuing my habit of being before time, I ended up coming an hour before the scheduled time. Left with no other option, I decided to have a cup of coffee. Little did I know the way to canteen had it not been for the smell of samosas, the one you can smell from 5 miles away. I went inside and ordered a cup of coffee, only to find that there wasn't any. Canteen had tea instead. I was never a tea person, not until I met Arjun. Being a theatre artist for a long time, Arjun also used to consider, like every other theatre artist, tea as a holy beverage and would always call it chai. The reminiscence of past made me smile and I ordered a cup of chai. With least expectations, I had taken a sip. My goodness. It was actually good. How can tea outside have proper proportion of milk and sugar in it? Isn't it the violation of fundamental principle of bahar chai nahi dhoka milta hai? Amazed by this recent discovery, I quickly scanned the neighboring bookstall, hoping to find something good to read. My search came to an end when my sight caught something. It was a book with pale yellow cover and a title, Romeo and Juliet. It immediately teleported me to those early days of my post-graduation. I could feel the indistinctive chatter in the mighty Zorawar Singh Auditorium of University of Lucknow. Udghosh The North Zonal Youth Festival was around the corner, and therefore the preparations were in full swing. I had accompanied my friend Swati for drama auditions. I had no interest in drama, but when I saw people running for any event just to get in a ghosh, there was a constant fear of missing out. And there I was, standing in the long queue of auditions. A perfect example of irony of fate that I had to audition for the same play that I wasn't quite fond of, Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. Yes, I'm a badolator, but I do not like the way Romeo and Juliet has been written. They say love can move mountains, and yet the same love couldn't align the stars. Or maybe their love was never as strong as we were told. Star-crossed lovers, as they're known in popular culture, were they actually the victims of time and fate? Or was it their own choice that had made all the differences? I often used to wonder what would have changed had the couple shown a bit of courage and had taken a stand against all the odds. Well, who knows? Next! A voice grabbed my attention. I was the next one for the audition. I kept on memorizing my dialogue for the role of Juliet's cousin as I entered the room. Hardly had I started my act when my eyes caught a pair of eyes looking at me. Those large, impatient eyes. I would describe myself as an anti-romantic person, one who would laugh at the slightest idea of falling in love at the first sight. However, this time, Cupid's arrow has hit the bullseye. It had been a while since I was daydreaming when a harsh voice brought me back to reality. We are waiting at your leisure. Before I could come to senses, I was shot with another question. Sorry, which role are you particularly auditioning for? I was not confident about my acting skills, but I was very much confident about my speaking skills. So I don't know why I was not able to revert them effectively and confidently. My voice got fumbled, and in a very low voice with unclarity, I replied, Juliet. There was silence, absolute silence, till the time when someone burst into laughter. And then the other, and then another, and within seconds the entire room was filled with a boom of laughter. I was very embarrassed as what I had done to myself and left the room in embarrassment without giving the auditions. Auditions didn't go the way I expect. I expected them to be worst. They went horrendous. However, Swati nailed at it, with her acting skills obviously, but failed against the preconceived notion of Juliet's beauty. In our society, we can't have a dark-toned heroine, but we can surely have dark-tongued people. Ironic, isn't it? Anyway, she landed in the role of Juliet's cousin, Rosaline, therefore limiting her stage appearance. Ashruti, a final year MCA student, has got the role of Juliet. No acting skill, no voice modulation, and absolutely no expression. Just fair skin. Were they auditioning for the role of Juliet or for Fair and Lovely Ambassador? I expressed my disappointment to Swati. If my boyfriend would have been the director of the play, I would have contented myself with nothing less than the role of female lead protagonist. She reverted. But he should be fair, na? I insisted. He indeed is, she added. I mean, just look at him. He's fair, he has a well-built physique, properly groomed hair, and a decent dressing style. I realized she was carried away. It was not that I hadn't noticed him. I had, but I had noticed his eyes, those large, impatient one, his smile, the one that can revive a wilted rose, the voice that can sweep anyone off their feet. I was brought back to senses by the same voice I was dreaming about. Hello, my name is Arjun. I'm directing this play. I had just came to know that you are proficient in editing sound. Would you like to assist me in this play? I was right. His voice can sweep anyone off their feet. Hello? 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 Do you want to buy something or not? I was pulled back into reality by not so charming voice of book vendor. I purchased that book without a second thought and sat on a nearby table. Hoping to unravel some more memories from the past, I opened the book. Act 2, Scene 2, Take 12. Oh Romeo, my Romeo, where are you, my Romeo? Cut! What's this? Arjun was yelling at the top of his voice. The play is in a week's time and you're not even ready with your dialogues. Why don't we stage the play as a romantic tragedy and not make it a comedy by ourselves? Startled at first, Ashruti quickly made a comeback. Don't you try to yell at me, Arjun. I am not Ritu. I'm not here to buy your attitude. And if you want to work with me, first go and learn how to speak to women. No wonder why she left you. I could see his jaws clenching. I could see his eyes going blood red. He somehow controlled his voice and requested her to leave, to which she proudly remarked, "Why should I?" Not sparing another second, he left the scene. I was furious at Ashruti, but I was more worried for Arjun. He had put his blood and sweat in the play. Ritu was Arjun's ex. The couple dated for whole 2 years before breaking up. It was from Arjun's side. He realized it was infatuation and not love in the first place. Ritu, however, tried to dissuade him, but in vain. In vengeance, she spilled rumors regarding Arjun, some which one should not talk about so freely, and gave them as a pretext to dump him. I looked for Arjun everywhere only to find him in the balcony of the auditorium, looking at the stage beneath. I walked up to him and tried to console. "We can find another one," I remarked. "We can't," he replied. He sounded in a voice full of self-hatred and despair. "Of course we can," I added. "The play is around the corner and we are not done with anything. I repeat, anything. We just can't." His voice became shaky and he trembled a little. I leaned forward and held his hand. I know this is a close gesture, but somehow we were close. often used to pick me up and drop me down every time the practice used to get off late. He once in a while had cancelled the practice just to get me to see the doctor. Yes, we were close, but not as close as the rumors were deeming us to be. Last day, when I was munching on my favorite golgappas, Swati asked me whether I and Arjun were dating. No! I immediately replied at her, giving her a stern look. But the rumors, she insisted, are baseless, I added in a firm voice, and the matter got closed. My disagreement was an outcome of least expectation of us being together, even in the rumors. Deep down in my heart, I knew our stars were all crossed and we can never be together, at least not in this life. I don't know from where I got the courage. I looked him right in his eyes and asked, "Can I take up the role of Juliet?" Hardly had fraction of seconds passed when I realized how awkward and how stupid thing I have asked for. He looked at me from top to bottom and then from bottom to top and then shook his head in disagreement. No, 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 you just can't. You can't. Expecting nothing but what I had got, I quickly made a comeback. Then I know who can. Let's go. I was pulled back into reality by the loud chatter that had lately begun in the cafeteria. The time was 1:45 and the lunch had already begun. Having no aspiration to get disturbed, I left the cafeteria and sat on the stairs of the court. The weather has changed. The sun sank behind the clouds and it looked as if it is going to rain. I opened the book once again and continued reading. Holy St. Francis, what a change is here! Exactly. That was the expression on Ashruti's face when she saw Swati in a shimmering gown playing her part of Juliet. The play went well. Everyone congratulated Arjun. He was happy, and so was I. But somewhere deep down, I was sad. Sad because now no more there will be any pickups or drops. No more will we be talking late at night. No more will we be together. I was trying to come in terms with the newfound reality when a gunmetal grey colored Royal Enfield blocked my way. It was Arjun's. "I was looking for you the entire evening." He sounded upset. I quickly made up an excuse. "I was busy wrapping up, Come, let me drop you home." He continued. "I would prefer walking. The weather is so nice." I added, So let's walk to your home?" He continued. "Don't be mad. It's 2 miles from here." I reverted. "You too." He gave a very stern reply. Sensing that it might had hurt me, he tried to lighten the mood. "What are you waiting for? Christmas?" Hardly had he said this when we both burst into laughter. The weather had already changed. We rode past my PG twice. Sensing my discomfort, he told me he was taking me out to celebrate the play's success. I forbade him to do so and told him to drop me back at my PG at the earliest. But before he could take a U-turn, the rain had started to pour. We were left with no other option but to wait for the storm to pass by. We were fortunate enough to find a shed in that deserted place and decided to go under it. There was eerie silence everywhere, and the only noise that can be heard was of the raindrops falling on the roof of the shed. He tried to break the silence by asking me, "You wanted to play the part of Juliet, right?" I gave him a stern reply, "How does it matter?" He made a quick comeback. "Oh, my sincere apologies. Can we recreate the balcony scene here?" "No way," I replied immediately. "I'm going home," I further added. "Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?" He had already begun. Seeking it as an opportunity to speak my heart out, I joined him. "What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?" I replied. He took it flirtingly and boastfully remarked, "The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine." I looked him right in his eyes and continued, "I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again." Unsure what I'm up to, he asked me, "Wouldst thou withdraw it?" "For what purpose, love?" I went close to him, looked him right in his eyes, and continued, "But to be frank and give it to thee again. And yet I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite." There was silence everywhere. Realizing what awkwardness had I brought, I took my steps backwards, and before I can turn, I realized his hand on mine. He was on his knees. He was proposing me. Yeah, it was a proposal, though not as mighty as I would have thought. But yet, it was still a proposal. He asked me very innocently, "Can I be your Romeo?" For a fraction of seconds, I felt as if I was in paradise. It was like a dream come true. The very next moment, I was on the grounds of harsh reality. We cannot be together. No, we cannot be. Enraged by my response, he stood up and asked me, "Why not? Don't you love me?" I tried to pacify him and told him that yes, I love you. I love you more than anything in this world. But I love my family too. And my family will never accept us. The society will never accept us. Taken aback by what I had just said, he asked me, "What about us?" "It really doesn't matter," I replied. if we will be together, we'll end like Romeo and Juliet. The society never had understood love. Not then, not now. Like Romeo and Juliet, our stars are crossed too. Our relation, if it exists, will be destined to doom. When I was saying all this, my voice was getting shaky. My hands were trembling. He realized it and came closer to me, held my hand in a tight fist, looked right in my eyes and said, "Be with me." Together, we will set the stars in our favor. We won't let our love die out like that of Romeo and Juliet. I ask you again, will you be mine? We hugged each other when the rain started to pour upon us. I can feel the rain. Oh no, not because I'm nostalgic, but because it has actually started to pour upon me. I gathered my stuff super quick and ran inside the court. In the large waiting room, I found a chair to sit on. I had to continue the story because it hasn't ended yet. Everyone who had been in love earlier or lately would agree with me on this fact that when we feel love had come secretly in our lives, it actually comes blowing trumpets all around. My case was no exception. The trumpets were blowing for long in the college, however, the noise had just reached my father's ear. Fettle your fine joints against Thursday next. Just like Lord Capulet had given an ultimatum to Juliet, had my father given an ultimatum to me to pack my bags. On Thursday next, he'll be coming to take me back home. Having left with no other option but to run away, me and Arjun decided to elope on the night of Wednesday. Little were we knowing that on the morning of Wednesday itself, father would land. The entire day we didn't have any conversation. My phone was immediately taken from me and I was confined to my room. I had already packed my bag, a few clothes, all of my savings and a family photograph. The one in which me, Mama and Papa all were laughing. It was the last photograph that I have of Mama before she left us. The next morning, father woke up a little early, but to his utter shock, he found that I wasn't there. In a hurry, he checked the bathroom and then all the neighboring rooms. In a hurry, he came downstairs to search for me, only to find me sitting in the common area with Raghav by my side. Enraged by this shameful act, he was about to say something when I started to express myself. Papa, it's been 8 years since you had hugged me. Last time when you hugged me, we were together, all three of us. Me, you, and Mama. I was not knowing that the storm that had came that day would take away one of the most precious thing of my life. Your wife, my mother. But I didn't lose only my mother. I lost you also. You were nowhere around when I needed you the most. When I needed your care, your affection. I know it was hard for you that you have lost your partner. But it was even harder for me, someone from 8th standard, to tackle this pain of losing parents. There was no family, no friends, no one who cared about me. The years had changed my heart into a rigid stone and made me believe that true love doesn't exist, and if it exists, then it exists only in the love stories, the fictional ones, like the one of Romeo and Juliet. I had this belief till the time I met Arjun. Yes, he made me love myself. He made me realize that someone is there to look after me, someone care for me. He loves me, and so do I. I know it's very hard for you to digest this fact and accept us the way we are. But believe me, Dad, we have accepted ourselves. We have accepted each other. And I know one day you will accept us too. And we look forward to that day. And as far as the society is concerned, we really don't care. It really doesn't matter. We don't care about them. I don't know. I really don't know from where I had got this much of courage, this much of strength to speak to him, to look him right in his eyes and walk up to him and hug him for one last time before holding Arjun's hand and walking out. I knew I didn't want to be the victim of my own choices and end up cursing time and fate about it. I had got the answers. What would have changed had Romeo and Juliet shown a bit of courage? The stars would have aligned themselves in their favor. Yes, that's the best part about stars. They do change. The only thing is, you require the force of your true love. The force of your strength and your courage. Sorry. I got stuck in traffic. I was pulled back into reality by this mesmerificious voice of Arjun. It's been 3 years since we were in a live-in relationship. Father has not accepted us yet. I'm hopeful that one day he will accept both of us. We want to go forward with our relationship and therefore decided to tie the knot. And that is the sole reason why we are here. Who are the litigants? Asked the magistrate. We, I replied. Arjun Asthana and Raghav Maheshwari. I did tell you in the beginning of the story, even if I don't tell you who I am, it is not going to change this love story. Love is love, whether it's between a man or a woman or between two men. I and Arjun had filed a PIL in favor to legalize same-sex marriages in India. We came outside the court, the rain had long stopped, and a beautiful, multicolored, shimmering rainbow has spread across all over the sky. I wish one day people will realize that like each color in the rainbow is as beautiful as the rainbow itself, so is love. Whether it's your love or it's mine, it is beautiful. And like you don't judge the rainbow, so why do you judge each other? Why do you judge us? The rainbow is beautiful. It has always been beautiful. And so are we, all of us. I held my Romeo's hand and walked under the rainbow. I held my Romeo's hand and walked under the rainbow. Hey friends, if you like this story, press like, comment and share it in your circle. If you're new to the channel or haven't subscribed it yet, press the subscribe button right now. You can listen to this story and many other on podcast platforms too. The link is attached in the description below. Keep listening. Mangadhant, unboxing real stories with Akshat Tomar.